Our guest today is Jozef Hrabina, geopolitical risk advisor from Geopolitics. Hello, sir, and thank you for being with us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So now let's perhaps go straight now to Ukraine's perspective. So how do you think that the summit itself manages to address Ukraine's aspirations for NATO membership? What Ukraine wants to get from this meeting?
Well, I think Ukraine's ambitions to become NATO member during the ongoing Russia's invasion have been tamed over the past summit, and it's clear that there is a strong opposition to this action, and yet Ukraine always gets some of the concessions from the most powerful members in the alliance, because Ukraine has been promised to enter the alliance, but of course we see some legal and practical obstacles in this process, and the first and foremost, Ukraine, or not Ukraine, but we all Western allies should resolve the conflict that is going on that is in its third year now.
And I'm really glad that you mentioned that we do have to stay united in order to resolve that conflict. That it is not only Ukraine's conflict, but, well, all of the countries that love peace, for that matter. But having that in mind, how do you see that rift between now the US, that although promised now some $60 billion aid in Ukraine, but only in loans and difficult ones to acquire at that. And on the other hand, we have now the EU that is promising now a 50 million or billion euros to Ukraine to repay for it in 20 years' time. How do you see perhaps that panning out, especially now with NATO alliance is struggling to bring all of those together?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the Western support crumbling over the past year. I think a lot of that has been attributed to the failed summer offensive conducted by Ukraine, growing might of Russia that has been able to overcome its problems in the midterm. And also, we should bear in mind that there is a super electoral year going on in the West, meaning that not all public favors staunch support for Ukraine and potentially escalating conflict with Russia. So we have European Parliament elections. We have the U.S. Presidential elections this year, which will be crucial for determining the future of the Western support for Ukraine and Western unity as such. So, having that said, it's more and more difficult to provide necessary help for Ukraine, despite the existential nature of this conflict, for us, especially for Central and Eastern Europe, of course. But we've seen that in Poland, that really country that understands the existential nature of this conflict has difficulties to provide more help for Ukraine due to the lacking public support. So I think it's a problem of democratic and open societies that get tired, and they have very short attention span, and we have problems with, of course, mobilizing resources on the scale as Russia has done it. So these are the issues NATO summits and EU summits should address. We don't see that much. Or we see many, I would say, PR statements rather than
and why do you think
actual
is
policies.
That? If I might take your word on that. Why do you think we see only PR statements and not perhaps real deal conversations? On the other hand, having Russia viewing expansion, for instance, of NATO near its border as a security concern.
Yes. Well, first of all, let's take a military-industrial complex policies as an example. We've seen that the EU is pouring tens of millions into military industrial policies. While on the other hand, we need tens of billions, not tens of millions, and making a statement about how great this is for us. It's not great. Russia is poised to, or is now producing 4.5 millions ammunition rounds for artillery a year.
Certainly,
US
and NATO provides support, training and assistance to Ukraine armed forces in response to Russian aggression. We do see that, but I guess it is an open question of what kind of help can NATO bring today, as of today, to Ukraine as such. Jozef Hrabina, thank you so much for joining us and bringing your expertise to light.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.